Welcome to the Embodied Wisdom Podcast.
So, Miss Judith, I'm intrigued because I've never heard of an unconditional love coach. So I'm dying to know what that is and what it looks like for you when you're working with clients. Because if there's one thing that every human needs, it's unconditional love for their self, right? So I'd love to just ask you, what is an unconditional love coach?
Yeah, let me explain first the definition of unconditional love and
Uh-huh.
then how do I do it when I work with clients? Because it's very simple. We are used to conditional love. I love you because I want something from you. I'm in relationship with you. You are my parent, you are my son, you are my friend, then we have this kind of expectations that is conditional love. It's an exchange of love. What I help people to understand is that love in essence is unconditional. I love you without reason, without conditions. I love you because I choose to, no matter what. This is not the kind of love that we learn in a school, that we learn at home, that we learn in our relationships. And how the work of becoming more I don't know, more loving in general, not unconditional, but more loving every day looks like, is to work with a coach or with a self-love expert, because self-love is the energy that will allow you to focus on the love for yourself, to fill your own tank, and then from the overflow, when you have so much love to give, you cannot stop yourself from sharing it with others. Then self-love is the beginning and the transformation of our relationships and many more things of the level of abundance, a level of health, and so on, so on. We'll talk about that. Then the reason why my title is Unconditional Love Coach and not Love Coach is because if I say love coach, people think that I fix relationships, and I don't do that.
Well,
I
you
help,
do. You absolutely do.
I help you fix the relationship that you have with
Yeah,
yourself.
because when you're helping that person,
Yeah,
it's like when I went through my own healing journey, everyone connected to me was affected by it because I saw them through a totally different lens,
yeah.
not skewed by the trauma and by the pain of the prescription I had been wearing for all those years. So I want to even go even further into that definition and looking into love because a lot of people think love is a feeling. We
No,
think of love as a feeling. Love is not a feeling.
it's a state of being.
It's a state of being. And from that place you act, right? So, when we say to our kid that we love them, if the energy that backs that word is not connected to that unconditional love piece, that means it doesn't matter what you do. I'm still standing here and being love beaming towards you. Yeah. So how do you define love?
Love is the most powerful energy that exists in the universe, and it's what governs the universe on itself. This is very broad, but let me bring it to focus. If in front of every move, decision, act, or thought, you ask yourself what love will do in this situation, you will give yourself the opportunity to be in a state of being called love. Usually, we get disconnected from love because we run into situations and challenges and past issues and future fears that disconnect us from the love. But love can only be love when it's felt in the present. Then, one of the things that I tell my client when we talk about self love is ask yourself this question: in front of this choice or this decision, what is the best choice for me now? And people think that this is selfish, but it's not selfish. It's like, unless you give to yourself, you cannot give to others.
Yeah, people have a really big misconception on selfishness, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, and selflessness as well.
Right.
Love is not self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
Self-sacrifice is a sacrifice, but love is something different. But we have been trained for religious beliefs, cultural beliefs, family, educational patterns, and our relationships to think that if you love someone, you have to be there no matter what and sacrifice yourself and your life for this love. But that's not love.
No, because
That's
if your cup is empty, there is no love to give.
No, it's even worse. If your cup is empty and you keep giving, you're going to give from a place of resentment.
Yeah.
And you're going to look at the partner that you have in front of yourself and say, when is my turn? I'm giving and giving and giving. You never give to me.
Yep.
It's going to be a moment when this is going to explode in your face with your children, with your colleagues, with your partner. No matter what, there is a moment where even survival instinct is going to tell you, you are doing something wrong. And it will manifest in the level of abundance, in the level of health, in your relationships. Because if you live in balance, in love, and I'm not being like, I know better. I did all of these things. The reason why I talk to you right now, Tammy, is because I did all of these things. I abandoned
Tell
my
me. Yeah.
relationships. I self-sacrifice. I please others. I didn't have any idea that the biggest problem I had in my life was that I didn't love myself enough. And there was no worship like I offer right now, like fall in love with yourself worship. I had to go through the process, read all the books, did all the masters. People say, oh, you have lots of credentials. Yeah, I love to study, but I did all of these things to try to fix myself and my life because I knew something was off, but I couldn't put a name of it, like lack of self-love.
Yeah.
Was that
What did your life look like before you started the journey?
from outside? Wonderful. I had a big house, the most wonderful husband. I had money in the bank account, a job that everybody considered was great, except me. And you could say your life is perfect. Why are you complaining? Why you are unhappy? And I was feeling really miserable, miserable, not unhappy, no, miserable. I had problems at every level, like physical health, emotional health. Then what your effort to show up in the world and say everything is working perfectly, I understand. But I'm interested in what is happening inside of you. What is the real you? What are you facing? What is happening to you? How can I help you? How can I support you? And I found people that support me through the journey. I'm very, very grateful to those that were there. Even my ex-husband, I put a lot of pressure on him to say, you have to make me happy. It was not his responsibility to make
Mm.
me happy. It was my responsibility. But I thought that if love was perfect, everything will work out. And
What
that's
a
not
joke, right?
what a
What a
disaster.
what a joke. Like who told us this? Who wrote
Ah,
this absurd story?
yes,
Right?
the princess and the
I tell everyone like this. I'm like, there is one really good reason for partnership, for intimate relationships, and it is for growth. That's it. It is not for you to feel. I mean, of course, there are some people that have worked through their stuff and they have a beautiful co-partnership, but they've worked through their stuff, right? I totally 100% hear you when you say I look to my spouse as I say as my
yeah.
source of happiness, my source of love, my source of all my needs being met on one person. One person got the big
No
dump
way.
of
No way.
all, right? And so it doesn't even make any rational sense that we do this, but people do it all the time. And then you're right, the resentment piece. After years and years and years of giving and giving and giving and giving and not asking for anything in return, you begin to feel very resentful. And then that resentment starts to build up and pile up in the back and you don't deal with it. And then all of a sudden, so what happened with you and your ex?
Well, I'm going to start from the present and then I'm going to go backwards.
Okay.
Then I have been in two wonderful marriages.
Hmm.
Uh, My first husband, 17 years, my second husband, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough with the lessons I learned the first time that I married a guy exactly, if you are into astrology, same sign, same
Ah,
ascendant, then twice. 27 years with different people because they are not exactly the same,
right.
but they were my best teachers in terms of self-love. They were very self-centered in a good way, yeah? Not saying they are the way they are.
Yeah.
But in order for me to learn how to love myself, I had two options: to find a relationship where someone will awake the love within myself, or be in a relationship where the other person loves himself very much. And I had to learn how to do it on my own. And I chose the second.
Ah,
Then I divorced after 17 years of relationship. It took me a lot of time because there was a lot of attachment. And I will say that I still love all my ex. And I'm in touch with all of them. And I have a great relationship. Nowadays, I just came back from Spain to Miami, and I'm staying with my second ex-husband in his apartment. Then my first husband did all the photos that you can see in social media. He's the photographer. Then
wow.
I'm saying that I have a good relationship. It's not that we just speak. It's like I try
Right.
to be there for them, and I expect them to be there for me. But it took some time to arrive to this point because, of course, breaking up with someone that for it's all your life is complicated. But people say the change is difficult. I think that it's more difficult to get stuck and to continue being stuck in a situation that doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Then my understanding of love was no matter what, there is a solution. We have to overcome this. And I gave as many opportunities as possible. But there was a moment when I say, if I love myself, I have to move forward with my life. And I still love my ex-husbands, but I love myself more.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have beautiful qualities, and I will always cherish the time that we spend together.
Mm-hmm.
I do also past life regression therapy. I open the Akashic Records, and I have all the tools, astrologically speaking, to tell you what is the connection with my first ex-husband, what is the connection with my second ex-husband. Uh, and I can kind of see through all the tools that I have why this person is in my life. It's bringing a lesson. What kind of lesson? What are we doing together? How can I support this person? How can this person support me? It doesn't mean that you remain in the relationship.
Yes. And that relationship remains the same. I would love to dig into that because there is definitely a theme I see happening on the earth, which is kind of like breaking up how we see relationships. Like marriage seems to be dissolving. Um, less people are getting married, high divorce rates. People are just, it seems to be a big challenge to stay in a partnership these days. And what I'm noticing with a lot of women on their healing journey is they woke up much like you said, wait, what is this pattern? Changed the pattern, started working on themselves, and now they're single and they're saying, hey, where's all the men at that are also working on their stuff and on their healing journey? Are you seeing that pattern or what are you seeing?
No, I feel a little bit different than you,
Yeah.
and my work is a little bit different. And let me go backwards one step.
Yeah.
Before meeting my first husband, I dated a guy when I was 16 and a half until 18. And we were kind in and out. The last time I saw him, I was 18. I'm 52 now.
Mm-hmm.
This person showed up in my life when I was married, not personally, through my dreams. Not once, again and again and again and again. I was meeting him in the middle of a big city like it's Barcelona, Spain. I was living in Barcelona at that time. there was a lot of synchronicities and things that I couldn't understand. Even when I got divorced, someone recommended me a lawyer, and the lawyer was next door to his parents' house.
Wow.
I'm not going to make it long because we need a couple of podcasts just to tell you the story. But just for you to understand that something was going on that I didn't choose. The universe was kind of delivering information. There was a moment where my nights were, in terms of love, more powerful than my days with my husband.
Right.
That gave me the power to say, maybe I should end this relationship that I have with my husband. Not because I was running after this guy, who also was married, by the way. He was not the message, he was the messenger.
Yeah.
Oh. Then all of this story took me some years to figure it out. I'm just simplifying here, but it's very interesting because how is possible that a soul connection, like a vibration in terms of love, that you know that you have had before because we had previous incarnations together, can show up in your life. Not even if you talk to the guy. I did that. I called him and I say, do you mind to go for a coffee? And I sat in front of him like real life. That was not the person that was in the dreams. It was a very clear, matter of fact, very kind of, I don't believe in anything I can touch person. That was not the
Interesting.
person in my dreams at all. Then he said, let's continue in touch. And I say, no, lose my phone. Like,
It's like a prototype of a person.
It was who he was in this incarnation, but the connection was happening at the soul level.
Mm.
Then it's very difficult to explain this in like simplifying the whole thing. But what I got was, oh, wow, if I can feel this kind of love for this person that is not even in my life, what I'm missing, what I am missing, that was the reason why I decided to go divorce. And then, because I didn't want anything less than a soulmate, I asked for that to the universe, and that was the universe deliver. The reason why I moved to New York was to find my soulmate. Of course, I had to go to the embassy and tell them, yeah, I'm going to do a coaching program, and here you have the enrollment, and give me the visa, please. And that was it. And I moved to New York, and in matters of months, I met this guy, and we got married after some time. And we live in New York together. We moved to Miami, and we are still really good friends, and I'm staying in his house, even though we are divorced. Then when you realize what you want, it's not about trends or what's happening. It's about really be loving, be the love you want to find, put it out there, and the universe will deliver.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the forgiveness piece.
Sure.
How does forgiveness play a role in all of this? Because I know for a lot of people, forgiveness is difficult and challenging. And I think it's because, once again, they don't know what it is. They think it's holding someone else. And if they let go of this, if they let go and forgive this person, they're letting the person off the hook, which is you and I know that's not what it is at all. But what's interesting when I'm working with my clients is it's never at the base of it. It's never really about anyone else. It's about them forgiving themselves. And I know this was true for myself. Once I forgave myself, it's almost as if all the ties to everyone I thought I was holding on to resentment, they just dissolved, because at the base of it was me holding on to unforgiveness towards myself.
You're totally right. And I don't have anything to add. You said perfectly. The problem with forgiveness is that we have a bad understanding because of the belief system that we have learned. When you are a kid and you are arguing with your sister or brother, and your parents say, forgive your sister, and you don't feel like forgiving anyone at that moment. Like, no, she is still my toy, whatever it is. But you learn that forgiveness is a fake thing that you have to do in order to come back to peace.
Ooh.
You have these religious beliefs that if you are a good person, you will forgive. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is a conscious choice that you make because you love yourself radical, totally, unconditionally. Then when you forgive, you set yourself free to move forward with your life. Then let's imagine that someone abused you. Then what you are saying that this is too big to forgive, what it does is there is an invisible cord that connects your your abuser,
Mm-hmm.
this person with you. Forgiveness is cut the cord. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I love it. Is that Bengali?
No, it's
Looks amazing.
my it's my really pretty kitten that
Hello.
yesterday I was in the middle of a podcast and she ran up the wall.
Yeah.
Literally went like this zoom, up the wall.
No, usually they love the energy of the Akashic Records.
They
Cats
love it.
love it.
Whenever I'm playing with energy, they have to buzz around.
Yeah, then I'm not surprised that it's hanging around. Look, look, look. Now it's like very funny. I love cats. I
Yeah,
love
let's get into the Akashic Records because how did you get into that?
it. It was the last tool in my toolbox, but it's not a tool. I think that you have to get ready to at a certain point. Uh, I was changing channels in the television before I moved to the US in Spain, and I saw a documentary of Edgar Casey, the
Uh-huh.
sleeping prophet. And it was amazing because when I moved to New York, this is pre-pandemic, that it's important to say, because there was no teacher in person from Akashic Records Consultant International, it's the organization that trained me in
Uh-huh.
New York. Can you imagine New York
Wow.
City, no teacher?
Wow.
Then it was in the moment when I moved to Florida where I found the person that trained me and with whom I felt connected and all of this. Then I did all the levels of training very fast. Like I recognized that this was a reconnection. Somewhere, somewhat, I have done this in past lives because
Mm-hmm.
it felt really normal for me.
Mm-hmm.
Soon I was able to do consultations. I started doing consultations and they changed all my business. I started my career helping people to find their soulmates or to be sure that they are in a soulmate connection or explaining them why they are not in a soulmate connection and how to resolve that. And when the Akashic Records entered my life, they moved to the forgiveness, self-love, all of this, and they transformed the business on their own. I didn't have to do any marketing. Like it was like, okay, now you're gonna do that. And I didn't want to train people. I have 5 workshops on my own on self-love, fall in love with yourself. After cancer, I developed fall in love with your body, about dreams, about how to manifest your desires. And I had enough curriculum. And I didn't want to teach 4 classes of Akashic Records in 2 languages because I teach in English and Spanish. And I was doing a training because I also do work on corporations to become certified as a happiness trainer.
Uh-huh.
And I told the universe, if you really want me to train people in Akashic Records, tell me clearly. I went to sleep. And next morning, I opened my email from bed on my phone. And there was one email, one sentence from a woman called Monica that then became my client. The email said, do you teach classes of Akashic Records? Okay.
Can't get any clearer than that, can we?
Yeah, I asked for clarity, I got the clarity. Then Akashic Records not only changed my own life and my business, they have been the support I didn't know I needed and I had. Like, for
Mm.
example, when I had cancer, I remember coming back from Spain where I got the diagnostic. I mean, I did the test here in the US, but it was very complicated here. You know, the system, no, the healthcare system here.
It's
Then,
so great, right?
so yeah, sure, for sure. Then I went to Spain, and in a week I had all the tests done. I talked with the surgeon. Then, anyway, I had the ability to do that. I did it, and I was in the plane coming back, knowing that I had stage 4 cancer.
Stage 4.
Well, but the stage 4 in a cancer that is not aggressive.
Okay.
Thyroid cancer it's called carcinoma, papillary carcinoma stage 4. Doesn't mean that it cannot be spread any moment. It can go to the lymphatic nodes, but I never felt in danger. I never felt. Then I connect with my Akashic Records in the plane when I had some peace of mind after the whole test and all of this. And what I received was a very peaceful message. You are not going to die from this. You are going to speak about this. You're going to help other people through your experience. We are going to be there to support you.
Mhm.
Don't worry and go ahead. And I took from the diagnostic was December 2016. I didn't have surgery until February 2018. And disclaimer, I'm not asking anyone to do what I do. Let me say it again. I'm not telling you that my choices are good for you. I'm just saying that I needed to understand why my body was showing me this challenge. Why in the thyroid? Why now? To be sure that I could heal that
Yeah.
totally and completely, not just with a surgery, and then be stuck in the same
Right.
point
Right.
5 years later.
Because your body is constantly speaking to you. The pain is showing up for a reason.
Of course.
The
And listen,
dis-ease is showing up for a reason. It's letting you know where there's some stuck energy.
yeah. Then I did that. I found wonderful mentors. I spent all my money in healing. Like
Mhm.
my bank account went from all to nothing very happily. I will do it again.
Right.
And what I discovered is that I needed to make some changes in my life that they have arrived until this point now. And I realized why here. Now I'm a speaker. I couldn't arrive to the speaking career that I wanted with all these things stuck here.
Yeah.
Couldn't. Then it made perfect sense for me. Then if you want to see as a challenge in your body, like, okay, I'm taking a pill or I'm doing this and that's going to disappear, it's up to you. But for me, it's just the opposite. Like, tell me more. Tell me why I'm stuck in here. Tell me how can I heal? And
Mhm.
I want my body to be part of the healing process, not just allopathic medicine. It's like, what
Yeah,
can
because your body is brilliant. Our
it did?
bodies are brilliant. And when we understand that it's really the communication of ourselves with each other,
Yeah.
right? And I know that because I started wearing these stem cell patches, and it's amazing how many things it changed in my body just because my cells started to speak to each other, growing back bone, growing muscle, like my skin improving, my eyesight. It's like all these things just from the cells of your body communicating.
Well, tell me more about it.
Yeah. No, I would, oh, the stem cell patches.
Yeah.
It's essentially a patch you put on your skin, and you cannot, like, it allows the body to create its own stem cells. The thing is you don't know where those stem cells are going to go in the body, and it's likely going to treat whatever it needs to. Like, there was this one lady, she didn't know she had cancer. She didn't know she had the big C, and she started taking them, and she took them for pain, shoulder pain, but the shoulder pain wasn't being handled because usually it goes for the pain first.
Yeah.
But it turns out she didn't find out till later that it was going for that. And she didn't end up doing any other treatment but that. And it totally dissolved, worked itself out. And then it started to work on the shoulder. And she was in her 70s. So,
Yeah.
the
Well,
the longer you wait to get on the stem cells, the more up, it takes a little bit more time for those cells to begin to speak to each other. But I have noticed such tremendous changes and healing in my body that I'm like, everyone needs to wear this technology.
yeah, when we finish, send me the information because
Okay.
I have devoted my time since I had this cancer experience and I did a lot of research. I feel like a journalist and I want to publish a book called Other Ways to Heal.
Ooh.
Everything I learned, then I had a car accident and I learned much more after the car accident. It was not my fault. It was a whiplash, but very bad whiplash. Then I want people to have information about how they can love their bodies and help and support their bodies to heal. And at the same time, how can they have the support of different practitioners? Just choose what resonates with you. Maybe
Yeah.
acupuncture is not your thing because you don't like needles, but maybe you can use like an osteopath. But maybe you don't like chiropractor, but you can do like an adjustment of the atlas.
Yeah.
And there are so many avenues. Nowadays, there are so many different ways of healing.
Yeah. And for me, because I'm really into stem cells. So I do intermittent fasting with my patches.
Mhm.
I have grown back bone in my mouth. My hearing is improved. Um, my psychic abilities have improved, as well as like my scars disappearing.
Yeah.
Just like all these different things. So I love that. We could totally talk about the alternative.
And
And
now
then
you look
there's,
amazing.
yeah,
Then it's working at whatever level.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Everyone needs it. Well, so if someone comes to you, do you work with individuals one-on-one or do you work with them
I do
in group settings? What?
one-on-one.
Uh-huh.
I do workshops. My workshops are small. I don't accept more than 15 people at a time
Mm-hmm.
because it has to be an intimate experience and everybody has to have the ability to share. And I do retreats. The same applies for the retreats. Then it doesn't matter what is the path you choose. Some people decided to join a workshop and then they become one-on-one clients.
Mm-hmm.
People are okay with one-on-one and they don't want to be in a setting group. Uh, I don't really care what is the path that you choose, and the process is very customized. I don't, when people say, but what is your process? I say, I don't have a process. I mean, I
That's
have a,
so good. So meaning
I don't have a
you use your intuition.
I use more than my intuition. Like, first, everything I do, for example, this interview, I'm talking from my heart. But
Right.
what I did before we connected, Tammy, is to open the Akashic Records of this interview. And if I needed to be supported, if there is anything that I was not aware that I needed to share, they will inspire me. Then I feel supported by this divine intelligence that is always there to make life easier.
Mm,
And I don't want to control the interview. I don't want to like do it in a certain way. I just show up,
yeah.
do my best, and they will do.
With that throat chakra nice and open, clear,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Then
That's interesting. Those are some blocks, that have been showed up from some two past lives of mine. One where I was silenced, and then another in my sacral. So it's just interesting how when it's time to work on these certain things, they present themselves. Like I love the study of epigenetics. When I work with my clients, we go back through their lineage through the epigenetics.
yeah,
And that's how I do my my lifetime regressions. But I love that we get to do this work because never in history has this work ever been so available and more mainstream than ever, right? Like it's literally everywhere, but people aren't alone anymore. Because I know you probably felt like I did for so many years, alone, lost, and unable to really find the light. In fact, I had a hard time even seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for many, many of my years. And how beneficial would it have been back then to have this many people on the planet speaking out and saying, hey, there's so much more for you. There's so
I
much
have
more
to
available.
tell you that I have been blessed with people that show up at the right time
Yeah.
in my life. Of course, it was not mainstream, but maybe because it was not mainstream, it was okay. And I don't think my family never understood me. They think I'm naive and the world, constantly my parents say, the world that you dream about doesn't exist. And my answer to them is, that's the reason why I'm creating it.
Well, it does exist for you. How could someone look at how it just because it's not their creation doesn't mean it doesn't exist?
But they cannot see it. I
It's
can.
like, but it's like looking at a child. And, you know, when we were kids, we were in our imagination. I mean, the life I lived as a child in my imagination was magnificent. And if anyone would have looked at me and said, that's not real, I would have been like, oh, it feels
But
pretty
even
real.
me, I was very rational. I was a businesswoman. I was
Uh-huh.
living in Spain. And here I am 20 years later talking to you, living in the US and doing this work. If you call me for a podcast 20 years ago and you say, let's do this interview, I'll say, Tammy, no, I mean, what? No. Are you crazy? Then
Well,
let
I
us.
would, yeah, that would, I always tell people, you wouldn't even recognize me 20 years ago in who I was. I did not be anything that I be today.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Well, please tell everyone where they can find you,
The
how they
easiest
can
way,
work with you.
yeah, the easiest way is go to my website, judithmcosta.com, because there you will find at the bottom in the footer place to subscribe, and we will be in touch. I will send you information about everything that's going on in my world and can benefit you. You will find all the social media links. And there is a contact form if you go to contact, where there is my phone, my email, or you can fill in the form. Then shoot me an email, tell me what you need, and I speak with people. Then don't send me an email of 10 pages saying this is what I need. Just let's try to connect on WhatsApp, because sometimes I mean, I travel a lot and I'm in different parts of the world, and you will never know if I'm in Dubai or if I'm in the US or I'm in Europe. But send me a WhatsApp and tell me this is what I need. How can you help me? And I will be there for you.
That's so beautiful. It's been so fun connecting with you. You are
Bye.
such a beautiful soul, Judith. And
You too.
I thank you for the gift of you giving your gifts to this world because we need you right now.
Yes, we need everyone to be on board.
Yeah, we need everyone to be on board. And when we wake up to our own giftings and we stop, you know, that call, that beckoning that you had all those years ago when you were just so unsatisfied with your life and everyone's like, "Yeah, you got the dream. You got it. You're doing it." And you're like, "This is
Mhm.
not fun.
No.
This is not fun." And I know that feeling for myself of like, what is this? And it's like that's your clue, your indicator to wake up. You're not in your purpose and you've got way, way more to do. I do have one question, like about the relationship piece. Do you feel like, because you said you were looking for your soulmate, do you still feel like you're looking for your soulmate or do you feel like you found her?
The reason why I stopped using the term soulmates after 15 years is not because I don't believe in it. The problem is a lot of people put so much content in the word soulmate. It has been bad used. Even all this Match.com talk about find your soulmate. And I'm not saying that you cannot find it in Match.com. I'm just saying
It's
that
good marketing.
exactly. Don't use it for marketing when it has a spiritual purpose. What I have realized is that a soulmate is not more important than a soul connection. What I discovered after all these 15 years of research is that my first husband, with whom I had an amazing connection at the beginning, we had telepathy. I could just write something in a bar, and he could tell me what was there. We would finish
Wow.
everyone sentences. It was an amazing sexual connection. Everything looked great. And I didn't want to abandon the relationship because I was clinging on that beginning. But we had a lot of karmic things. What is karmic things? Unfinished business, patterns that we were repeating lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And this was the opportunity that the universe gave us to do the things differently this time. And we were introduced, we said yes. I met him when I was 18, at exactly 18. I married him when I was right 25 after college, MBA, starting working. And we had wonderful years. But when things were not working, I couldn't remain there forever. We tried to divorce 3 years in a row. And we came back together and we came back together. But there was a moment where I had to really put myself and say, okay, there is a cost of opportunity of remaining here where you are not getting the love that you say you want. And you're abandoning yourself in the relationship, Judith. I had to be honest with myself. It was not his fault. It was all me.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other soulmate that came through my dreams was just putting all this information in front of me and saying, this is love. What do you want to choose? And when I finish, I didn't know that I had so much clarity on how to attract your soulmate, but I had it.
Mm-hmm.
That period was years. It was not just 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And what was my surprise? I started asking for a soulmate. And then synchronicities start happening, moving me to New York. There was a song of Alicia Keys, this song that is State of Mind of New York. There was someone that was inviting me to go there. There was like everything was pushing me. And I was living in Barcelona, great style of life. Barcelona is
I've heard.
it's a great way to live. And I couldn't stop myself from saying, okay, if my soulmate is in New York, and I did it. My mother and I, we closed the business we had together. I finished my master in psychology. I put all my money together and I said, I'm going to rent a studio in Manhattan and let's see what happens. And I show up.
Mm-hmm.
And this person was there waiting. And it was also wonderful. And it has been 10 years of my life.
When did that end?
In good friendship, as I'm staying with him while I'm looking for a
No,
partner
when did it end? How long have you been separated?
for 4 years.
4 years. And no kids?
No kids. We could have had...
No, you haven't had any kids.
No, I could have had kids. I think my first marriage, I thought I had, because I was 18 when I met the guy, then had plenty of time to have kids. And my parents are divorced. And I knew I didn't want to do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
The family, to have kids, I wanted a family.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen in the first marriage. It could have happened in the second one, but maybe the divine had other purposes.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, we had a cat in common, had cats.
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories. You're a beautiful storyteller. I enjoyed all of them.
Pleasure was
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.